All right, this is a recording to show just a bit more of StatKey. I'm going to share my screen. And the first thing I'm going to do is show you, here I am at Blackboard. And again, this is going to be for all of my statistics classes. I'm just going to pick on one of them. And so what we run into in our 2.2 lecture handout, and also what you'll see in the homework, is we're going to be talking about one quantitative variable, and we're going to be making either histograms or dot plots. These are distributions showing you where the majority of your data values are landing, talking about shape. But at the end of this lesson, we're going to see a prompt to use technology. And so you'll also see this on the homework. So that's what this recording is for, is what in StatKey are you needing and what are you needing to get done? So there is a data set called All Countries that you could download from Blackboard. I'll do that at the very end, but I want to show you maybe the quickest way to get these homework questions done. But you need the variable death rate for all the different countries. It says use technology and create a histogram or a dot plot. They're very similar. And all we're going to be doing is looking at the general shape of it, whether it's symmetric, skewed left, skewed right, strong, skew. Again, this will make more sense after we go through the lesson, but we're going to use StatKey, descriptive statistics and graphs, and then one quantitative variable. One quantitative variable, because that's what this death rate is. It's a quantitative variable, but it's not going to be called all countries. When you look in StatKey, it's going to be called countries, the third edition death rate. So I'm going to go over in a different tab to StatKey. I've already got it saved from before. And then over here under this left column, descriptive statistics and graphs, we want the one quantitative. So the last section, we were doing one categorical. We want one quantitative variable. And by default, it's showing us some distribution for some graph. That's for this mammal longevity. But we want to find, and again, I have it here in the handout, the countries. This is third edition death rate, and they should be in alphabetical order. Actually, they're not. They're just kind of all over the place. So you'll need to scroll around and find it. For some reason, the C's are down here. So you got countries, third edition. There's birth rate. So be careful. We're looking for death rate. If you do birth rate, it's going to give you just a different graph, but death rate is here, third edition. And you can see here immediately we have the dot plot. You can use also a histogram. It'll show you the same data, but just more with these different columns of bars. But notice that the shape of them is very similar. You've got kind of a high peak here, but then you have more of a longer tail to the right here. So it's not really, it's if you were to draw like a line, a curved line over this, the right tail just kind of goes on and on and on a bit further. So it's skewed to the right. The histogram is also showing you that if you were to draw a curve here and you wanted it to be symmetric, we'd probably stop right about there, but it just keeps going a little bit over. So there is some skewing to the right, not very strong. And this is what you're doing. You're just coming to StatKey to see the graph, the histogram or the dot plot, and making an observation about whether it's symmetric, skewed left, skewed right. So you would answer the question, write it down, but then you would also want to submit a print PDF of this, or take a snapshot, screenshot of your computer screen, or take a picture with your phone. Save this as a PDF so that you could upload it to Blackboard along with all the rest of the questions that you answer for this homework. And that is it. Again, there's one other way that you can get the data set. If you, again, that was the fastest way. It's already what you need in StatKey. The other way would be is if you went to course materials, and I'm only doing this just in case at some point down the road, you need to take this route where you're going near where the textbook is. Underneath it, there's course wide resources. There's 8 of them. And the second one is data sets. And this also has the all countries so that you can download it as a CSV. And so already it's downloaded to my computer. And so whenever I go to StatKey, suppose I'm at the very first beginning of StatKey, and I go to one quantitative variable, I can upload the file that I need and just find it in my downloads, all countries. So this is in alphabetical order. All countries. Where is that guy? Oh, right here. So actually, I've downloaded it twice, once in the past, but I'm gonna double click on the one that I just downloaded, and then we were doing death rate. And so if you scroll along, okay, you can see there's all other different types of. I'm just going to scroll over to the right until I find death rate. There's birth rate, and maybe I just passed it somewhere. Oh, here it is right there. Death rate, right next to birth rate. So you click on death rate and you click OK, and it's going to put a graph, the histogram and the dot plot, but we've already seen this is the exact same thing. You can also scroll over and it'll show you like the little values for all the different death rates for all these different countries. Over here on the right, it'll show you like the average death rate. It'll also show you the mean death rate, the lowest, the highest. So it's got also some summary statistics here. So that's just another way to get the graph. So again, right now, all we're doing is playing in this lesson, playing with the one quantitative variable. And then let me also show you for your homework. When you do the actual homework assignment, it'll be very similar. Let me click on the 2.2. The last 2 questions are just going to have you do the exact same thing, except you're doing the college scores 2 year. And I have down here, you're using the exact same thing, one quantitative variable, but it's going to have a slightly different name if you compared if you download it from the Blackboard resources. StatKey already has it as US 2-year colleges enrollment. And again, that's going to make the graph that you need. And then it's also going to show you off to the side the mean and the median for that variable of enrollment. So exact same thing, just a different data set variable, but you're going to get the exact same thing, a picture that's a histogram or dot plot, and it'll also calculate the mean and median for you. And I think all you're doing on this one is just what do you notice about the shape of it? Is it symmetric? Is it skewed to the left? Is it skewed to the right? And that is it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. And again, get with me if you run into any questions, but that is it for now.